juicy combat and get this motherfucker finished off. Because after today, I'm done saying the word Borasoth. It's way too many times in my life now. So,
Big bad cow man.
Big bad cow man. You know what? I like that one better. So, last session, which, by the way, for those counting, was session 123. But now this is session 124. It doesn't work. Last session, we began in the north in the cave of the party's construction. Had just completed the exorcism ritual against Borasoth, or Big Bad Cowman, who is the demonic ancestry of Balzanors given life and power by Kaiman. While the souls are tearing themselves apart, a red tether seemed to keep the two tied together and intertwining them deeper than more powerfully than Doc anticipated. Doc, however, had heard of this before and seemed to know a way to break this tether by projecting your souls into Borasoth/Balzanor and break them apart manually. With the twist of magic and the ritual spell, Doc was able to send you all into the being that was Borasoth to see what could be done. Whilst inside, you all appeared as your perfect selves. Doc appearing in travelling clothes to look much like he did in the sort of setting up of the Dragonborn system in the north. Giri appeared without her armor or mask, showing herself in her clothes she might wear back home. Kaiman appeared as a hulking metal furnace with a stream of ethereal food flowing into his mouth at all times. And Navedo was naked. You know, because druid. You seem to be in a sort of hellish plain, a huge castle of iron set for you, and as you stole your resolve, you went inside. Inside, you found a huge door with intricate infernal locks upon its front, and sort of smaller doors leading left and right to either side of the room. Through the left door, which was a door next to the statue of Balzanor, you faced a Garistro in a sort of mindful version of sumo. First, Navedo turned Giri to a giant ape, and then Giri was able to knock the Garistro out of the ring pretty easily. And next, Navedo turned himself into a giant ape. As the creature charged at him, he transformed back into a smaller self and touched his leg, which I thought was a fucking fantastic touch. And upon thinking about it, I'm going to give you an inspiration for that. That was actually very, that was pretty cool. I like that a lot. With half of you completing the challenge, the Garistro vanished, and instead new apparitions appeared. So a younger Balzanor competing in a competition similar to this one, except he was competing for his place amongst the warriors of his tribe. He started well, but things took a turn after a wild hook to his face. Whilst on the back foot, Balzanor's rage grew and grew, causing him to erupt fire and explode in an infernal blaze, seemingly immolating his opponent and all those who came to watch. The next room had you facing 5 coloured fire elementals shaped like minotaurs, with symbols on the walls in corresponding colours. These elementals packed a punch as they charged through you, but destroying the glyphs or having them run through their own glyphs was enough to dispel them. Similar to the other room, an apparition appeared showing the creation of Borasoth by T.M. Borasoth. With these 2 rooms completed, the locked door finally opened, and inside you saw Borasoth grappling Balzanor, keeping them tied together. With a mighty heave, you pulled the 2 apart, and your souls were separate. The souls were separate. You were all suddenly sucked back into your own bodies, watching as Balzanor began to transform back into itself. But from his body, a large elemental began to grow, a being of hellfire, the spirit of Borasoth, proclaimed that if he couldn't have Balzanor, he would take one of you in his place. With that, we rolled initiative. We're 1 round into the initiative, and you've dealt some heavy damage to him, but he's too revealed that he can dish out some heavy damage with slam attacks, as well as conjuring these weird fire motes to cause chaos around the battlefield. And we now pick up with Dokrumir at the top of the initiative. So, Dokrumir, what you got in the locker? What are you going to do?
Depending on how this goes, might depend on what I do. I am going to try and back away 5, 10, 15, 20 feet and submerge myself in water.
Okay, I believe that it's going to be an attack of opportunity.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a 20. Oh, fuck, maths. 23? Yeah, 23.
That will hit me.
10 plus 13 does make 23. I'm good at maths. So the damage is going to be an honorable The right and honourable 2d10 plus 7 bludgeoning and 5d6 fire. Because, yeah. 6 plus 7, so that's 13 points of bludgeoning damage as this fire and slams down on you. But then you d6s of fire. 7, 14, 18, and 18 points of fire damage.
Okay.
That is also, funnily enough, a level of burning, but then you run into the water and you get rid of the burning.
Does that get rid of all my burning or just one level?
Immerging yourself fully in the water gets rid of all of it.
Okay.
So if you'd like to, I'd say you can use your movement to get in, and then I'll say use an extra 5 feet of movement to just fully submerge yourself.
Okay.
Although actually you're a dwarf, and right about there on the sort of edge of that, use like an extra 5 feet of movement to just fully submerge your body, and you're out. You're done. You're good.
Okay, and then as an action, I'm going to do a Sacred Flame, which is a Dex save.
Sacred Flame, which is a Dex save.
DC 20.
Nope, that doesn't cut it. Roll the damage.
Okay. 11.
11.
And then as a bonus action, I'm going to cast Spiritual Weapon once more.
Okie dokie. Grab that spiritual weapon. Stick it on the map. Alrighty.
Power of Apollo's spiritual guidance. Give him. Where's it gone? I swear I moved it into a better spot and now I can't find it again. There it is. Spiritual weapon. A 30 to hit.
A 30 surprisingly does hit.
And 12 damage.
Nicely.
Oh, and I need
to do heavy attacks of radiant damage slamming into it. It seems pretty pissed off by that, and certainly pretty pissed off that you ran away and are no longer burning. He definitely had his eye on you as the person who did the whole exorcism thing. Next up, we have Balzanor. Balzanor is just going to stand in the corner going, come on, you fireball. No, fireball is useless. Come on. And you can just hear around the corner in that sort of back area, just Balzanor struggling, just trying to be of use, but really struggling to just do any kind of magic at the minute. So finally we get to Borasoth. Now, Borasoth, after a round of sort of reeling from being sort of ripped from one into the body, he's finally going to get his legendary reactions, and one of his main abilities, an ability which he's going to use right about now. So he's going to step back here, and then in a 60-foot cone from him, you see that his arms sort of come back, and they just sort of grow and grow and grow into this sort of just wall, just this burning, I don't know, just this burning force. And as he pushes this force forward, there is this heat wave that travels first, and then the fire, and then the smoke. So can I all actually get you to make Constitution saving throws as he unleashes Hellfire heat waves? You'll have advantage because you're in the water, and Kaiman, you'll have advantage because you're in fire damage. So this is going to be a okay. I have a problem with Giri because since this combat started, I have done with my paladin in JJ's campaign, I've had 6 ones, which is about the same amount of nat 20s you got last session. Crazy.
What can I say?
Absolute fucking craziness. So Giri, you'll take half damage. Doc, you'll take half damage. Kaiman, you take half damage anyway, but you will suffer some of these extra effects. And Navedo, you unfortunately fail. So, for those that fail,
What's the save DC?
20.
Fuck.
Yeah, level 18 now is a funnel level. Can't find my dice at the minute, so I'm just gonna roll it on here. There we are, that's 10d8. So 36, that's 56 points of fire damage for you, Navedo.
How much? Sorry, 20.
56.
56, sorry. Good.
When did we
Plus-
go up to 18?
Sorry, 17. The level 17.
Okay.
Apologies.
Okay. Gonna say I thought I'd missed out there.
I've been doing my prep work for you guys being level 18, and I got that confused. So that's 56 points of fire damage. Plus, you gain a level of exhaustion as suddenly the heat overwhelms you, dehydrates you, causes like heat stroke, and you're suddenly just like bumbling around a little bit. Everyone else will take half damage. So everyone else takes up 56.
28.
28, thank you. Everyone else will take 28 points of fire damage. No exhaustion, no points of burning. That's a pretty good 10d6 to be fair. Thank you for the 20. I didn't get my dice out already. I will get that for the next round. But with that, he's also going to, with his bonus action, create some more fire motes. These small little balls of fire that seem to have like these hellish faces within them, and as you get close to them, you can hear the crackling flame, just like people like crying and screaming. One of you guys do this. Look, roll me a d4. Much more interesting.
Three.
3. So he gets three more boys, and he can conjure them within 10 feet of himself. Gonna bring one there. Gonna bring one there. Gonna bring one there. And that is that. Next up, we have Daviat. Daviat is a man whose sheet I didn't also not get open, but these with Daviat. I'm thinking Daviat's probably going to smite this son of a bit. Probably. How many spell slots does he have? Yeah, he's going to smite the son of a bitch. So let's see if. There we go. It didn't take too long. That doesn't actually it's 1 on it. 15 doesn't hit. Will be violent there now, so we can't get round to get any advantage. So he's just going to try again. Get the +1 on it. 17 is just enough. Then that is that damage plus. All right, that's 66, not 68. 33. So 15 plus 3, so that's 36. 30.
Can we just take a moment to appreciate that 66 though?
It's impressive, isn't it?
That is a pretty good 66, not gonna lie. 51 points of damage. Yeah, you see Daviak sort of misses the first, but with the second he slices up on what would be like Borasoth's hand, I guess, and it almost looks like he slices up and off, but then Borasoth just regrows it with fire. And Daviak's just there seething, but also sweating profusely, being this close to a massive fire elemental type being, elemental demon, if you will. But then we have Kaiman. Kaiman, what you gonna do?
I will move down to here.
Uh,
And do Spirit Guardians.
nice.
Mm.
So in a 15-foot radius circle around you, there is suddenly all these like spirits and things, like fire and different things that sort of form around you. So on his turn, you have to make a wisdom saving throw or take some damage. Is that an action or a bonus action?
Action.
Cool. Do you have any bonus actions you'd like to do, or?
Yes, I'll bite one of the screaming faces to shut them up.
Fantastic. Roll to hit against a screaming face.
Kaiman going for a spicy meal.
24 does in fact bite a screaming face.
Is
And a
Kaiman a
damage.
fan of
Which one?
spicy food?
Oh, he's a fan of beef coral. Oh wait, coral. That's not
Which one are you going for, blue or yellow, by the way?
blue.
Yeah, you had already, someone had already hit blue last. So there's 16 points of fire damage as you just chomp down on this thing, and it doesn't die, but you do chomp down on it. And it's weird as you bite down on it. It's almost just like, yeah, your mouth just gets really hot for a second, and as you sort of like chew, there's nothing there, just some smoke, but you have to cough. It does seem to have done something towards it. Next up is Navedo. What do you got in the locker, Navedo?
Polymorph. Oh no, we're back in this little room, aren't we? I can't polymorph into a T-Rex.
Indeed.
Sideways to it.
And I am a lying down T-Rex. If I were to stand here, in this spot here,
Yes.
would you say that, bear with me, that this is a straight line that would hit?
What, that wonky line you've just drawn?
Yeah. Where's the ruler? Where's the ruler? Hang on there.
Despite the wonkiness of the line, yes, that would go through those creatures and Borasoth space, yes.
Sweet. Can I cast Lightning Bolt?
You absolutely can cast Lightning Bolt. I love it. So he needs to make a dex save, right?
Maybe.
What's his dexterity bonus?
I'm just gonna do it third level.
What's your save DC?
19.
That's so annoying. He has a +7 to his +7 to his dex saves, and he rolled an 11, so he only got 18.
That's good.
That's a wet roll, Luke.
It's a bit loop, isn't it?
You know when you put a bit of bread in the sink? That's what that is.
Oh, coming out of the gym this morning, we parked in Sainsbury's car park. Sorry, bread sidetrack. Parked in Sainsbury's car park. Got back from the gym. This lady got into Sainsbury's, and I kid you not, she'd come out with about 10 baguettes, and I wanted to know what she did with 10 baguettes. But can it be asking strangers why they've got 10 baguettes?
I think you can. When it's 10 baguettes.
Maths problem?
Yeah, she's a maths teacher at a school, primary school.
Beatrice has 10 baguettes, 5 in one hand, 5 in the other. Beatrice drops 3 baguettes out of her right hand.
How many watermelons does she have?
2. Cup of absolute bazingers on it.
Oh dear. Yeah. Anyway,
That was not. Oh, hey, always up for a little bread sidetrack in the middle of combat. It's always good.
Absolutely. Is that everything, Navedo? Any bonus actions? Any more movement?
no.
Cool. Borasoth is going to use 2 of his legendary actions to point at blue and use detonate. So blue,
Ouch.
it's gone. Blows the fuck up. It like implodes into this small bead of just wobbling fiery force, and then explodes out into a fireball. So can I get everyone within 20 feet of where blue was? So 20 feet of his, that'd be Navedo, Daviak, Kaiman, Giri, and 5, 10, 15, 20, and Doc, but Doc with advantage because you're in water. Can I get you all to make me a dexterity saving throw, please?
Oh dear.
Riggedy roll up some damage here. So that is to everyone. 26 points of fire damage. Plus a level of burning. Oh, Navedo, do you have any burning on you?
No. Not anymore.
There we go. But now you do because of
Thank you so much.
viable. Yeah, plus a level of burning. Make sure we're keeping track of that. Kaiman, you take half, so you only take 13 because you're immune/resistant. But that's going to be 2 of his legendary actions, and then we move on to Giri. Oh, Giri.
Yeah. Can you get your wonky line off there, please, Luke?
Okay.
It's bothering me. Right. Just
A warrior needs focus.
attack. Advantage. Take -5 on these. 20.
20 hits.
27 damage.
After that first hit, he's going to use his reaction to do flame step and go 30 feet. 5. Where's he going to go? 5, 10, 15, 20. Go. Sorry, you can go to half the speed, not 30 feet. Yeah, disappears there. Can you make me a deck save, please, Giri? You take 8 points of fire damage.
So he took that first hit and then.
Yeah, he took the damage of the first hit, and then like as he took it, he spun like imagine like just like spinning like a vortex. Disappeared, and as he disappeared, there's this small like burst of fire like towards you, and then reappeared. But here.
Okay, I'll run over to him.
Uh-huh.
And as I'm running, I'll use bonus action to give myself fighting spirit.
Uh-huh.
I have advantage on all my attacks in this turn, and then I'll strike him again with a -5. Whatever the fuck that is, 28.
Yeah, it's
23 damage.
23 damage.
Oh, that is weak sauce.
And the final one does miss.
Action surge, another 3 hits. Oh, that is weak sauce again. That's not weak sauce.
1 second, I'm catching up with the damage here. So that's.
I've only done 2 lots of damage to him.
I know, but I haven't written them down yet, and I.
I'll make it real easy for you. It's 50.
Yeah, that does actually make it a lot easier.
I think it's a KO, no?
No, not quite.
I haven't got any crits out yet. Bit disappointed given my track record.
Yeah,
28 damage.
28
And then
damage.
Final hit, which will do another -5 on. There's a crit. So strike again. 19 hits in it.
19 does hit.
So that's the
40
damage, which is
plus
19, 29, and then did you want to edit it or?
I'm gonna say no for this combat. I'm gonna keep it as is, but maybe
So still 4d12.
maybe for the future. But yeah, 4d12 plus what's that? So 28 plus
29.
28 plus 29 is
57.
the 7. There we are.
So 107 damage.
107 damage. Not too fucking shabby at all.
That's all my action.
You just begin absolutely laying into this creature, and you just hear this like horrifying roar as you just slash and slash and slash. certainly looking pretty weak now. Definitely, like, he doesn't have blood, but something like bloodied. Yeah, certainly showing signs of being a little bit weary here.
Okay, and then I'll come down final 10 feet of movement to get a bit further away from the moats and offer Daviak some slashy advantagey stuff.
Alrighty. And with that, the fire motes are going to go. These two, I think Borasoth is just going to, like, sort of look at you almost like being like, get her. 5, 10, 15, 20. This one's going to try and get you with some advantage here. Hey! Fire mote got a little crit on its hands. Natural 20. Yeah, so that's going to be 2d10? That is 10 points of fire damage. To you. Oh, at the end of your turn, you take any burning damage. Apologies.
Which is
Giri, which is how many levels of burning do you have?
just one.
Just one, so that's just 1d6.
Okay.
2 burning. Cool. Then it's going to be that fire mote. This fire mote is going to just keep attacking Kaiman because Kaiman's there, and this one's going to go after Daviak. So roll the hit against Kaiman. I think this will have to be a really high roll to try and hit Kaiman. No, that's a 12 to hit Kaiman. And to hit Daviak is 7, so nothing. And that's pretty much going to be the fire motes. Borasoth is going to use his last legendary action to try and make a slam attack against you, Giri. That's a 4 plus 13, which is 17.
Was not it.
Does not hit. He just managed to swing dodge out of the way of this massive, just like, it's not even like a hand anymore when he makes these slam attacks. It's just like this fiery appendage just comes slamming down upon you. But you manage to just like dodge, like Dark Souls, roll out of the way. Sorted. Then we go back to Dokrumir. Dokrumir, what you got on the locker?
So I need to step out of this lovely water as Gary has moved too far away. 5, 10, 15 feet. And then from here, I can cast a Mass Cure Wounds that can get everyone. And this is coming out at a 7th level, so everyone gets 3, 4, 5d8 plus 2 plus the level of the spell plus my wisdom mod, so 5d8 plus. Everyone gets 5d8 plus 15 max because 17th level life cleric. Everyone gets 55 HP back.
55 HP. I'm doing all my fine work.
Well, you'll be pleased to know it only just gets me over half. And then as a bonus action, the spiritual weapon's gonna come in for a little bonk.
29 does hit. Yes.
13 force damage.
13 force damage. Fucking numbers. Cool. Your spiritual weapon comes in and almost like stabs at him with the end of the sort of Caduceus symbol and just like pierces him.
And I'll just
still
take one more step up just to get these motes in my aura. Oh, the motes on their turn should have taken saves for Kaiman's aura.
Oh, yes, they should have. Thank you. So the first one rolled a 13 plus 1, so that would have failed. Second one also fails. So Kaiman, roll me your spiritual weapon, Spirit Guardian's damage, which I think is 3d8.
Yeah, 3d8, 3rd level.
15. Nice. So 15 damage to yellow, and 15 damage to pink. And blue would have had to make the save as well because that hit both on its turn. That one is, however, an 18 plus 2, which would be 20. Passes, takes half of 15, which is cool. Then we go to Balzanor, who, to be honest, to go around that corner and go, no, and try and duck behind. And you can almost see as he ducks behind, Borasoth looks at him and just gives him like this wicked grin. Cool. And then that's pretty much Balzanor. Nope, not quite. Daviak is caught within these things, but realizes the worst things. She goes 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Running in, slashing with his sword. Advantage on. What do paladins do when they crit? An age-old question. The first attack.
Biggest smite he can do.
Yes. So that's going to be 390. And the second one is going to be that plus. See that. Is he not a 4th level? No, you get 3 4th level slots. No. Yes. Yeah, he has 3 4th level slots. So he is going to use a 4th level slot, his final 4th level slot, do 68 twice. Oh, that's fine. So that's 13. The 6 is 19. Plus 7, 26, 28, 28, 32, 52, 57. No, 52, 72, 76. 76 points of damage. A mighty hefty blow from our boy Daviat.
That's
As
weak force.
As he slices through the sort of like mid rim of Borasoth, you see this gout of smoke pours out, and it's weird. It's almost like what's that like really cold air, cold gas that just like falls to the floor and like gathers on the floor.
Liquid nitrogen.
That's it. It's almost like liquid nitrogen, but like pure black as it pours out of him, almost like blood. Borasoth's looking fairly weak now. Really fairly weak now. Pretty sure I skipped Borasoth's go because I went Balzanor and then Daviak. I'm going to do Borasoth's go now. Borasoth being is a roll to see if he gets that attack. 5, so he does. Is there anything else he wants to do first? Okay, more guys. 3 of those attacks. How are you looking, Giri? What did we look at?
Very, very well.
Very, very well.
Yes.
Okay. Then. Alright, here's what he's going to do. Because now Daviak's blocking what he wanted to do. He's going to go 5, 10. He's going to try and move out of your range.
Attack opportunity?
Yep, attack opportunity.
Love that.
Do I still have advantage on it? Or just within my turn? Let me double check.
He gets to like here and then moves.
No, but from my
Oh, from your fighting spirit.
yeah. Well, I can't find it.
I think it's till the end of your turn.
Current turn, yeah. Okay, that would advance to it then. Oh, get fucked.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
That doesn't go off, does it actually?
It doesn't go off, no.
Okay.
For the first time forever. 16 plus 12 Fuck, that's max damage on the extra damage. That's
I also have the Sentinel feat, so his movement speed is now 0.
okay. Yep, that was his Hail Mary. Because he knows you have that. So yeah. So as you slash into its back, he turns around, now looking, yeah, fairly fucking rough. And you can hear him like breathing really quite heavily. And he raises his arms again, and he's just going to unleash his Hellfire Heatwave on you and Daviak. So can you and Daviak please make me Constitution saving throws? And Mittens, can he also make me a Constitution saving throw?
I'll use my Indomitable and do that again. Oh, useless.
Does Mittens get any bonuses from Daviak?
I would say no, because this is just like a wave of heat that pushes through stuff. Oh, yes, because he's a paladin. Of course, he gets
Yes.
+5 done.
+5?
Think. Let me check. Oh no, Daviak's only got 13 charisma, so he gets a plus
1.
a 16 charisma for +3. Sorry, I misread that.
Oh.
So you both would get a +3.
Oh, sweet. So
17
20.
overall.
The Giri, you're further than 10 feet away from him.
What a rubbish paladin.
I know. He's not been one as long as some of the other paladins around. And Mittens still does unfortunately fail.
Yeah.
So, with... Oh, I need to roll for Daviak. Daviak's movement +3. +3 again. So 11 +3 is 14, +3 is 17. Not quite going to cut it. So everyone's going to take the same damage. That's quite nice.
Well, Mittens is down because we rendered him unconscious.
Yes. So Mittens is now making death saving throws. Each of you take 58 points of fire damage.
I feel like that's exactly what you healed us up for. Yeah.
Yeah. There's 58 points of fire damage. One level of exhaustion. And 1 level of burning. The Mittens is now burning. Quite a lot.
Catman's burning. Catman's burning.
Yeah, is now making death saves. But that's going to be.
Is he making them, or has he already? Is that like one already failed?
No, he's now making. I think how it works is if you're on 0 but unconscious and you take damage, you are now then making death save.
Okay.
You don't just fail immediately. So there we go. Bonus action. Conjuring up some more fire modes. I'm going to say, Sam, roll me a d4 this time. Please.
Roll low.
Middle.
2. Not the worst that it could be. And he's going to summon these things there. And let's say there. He does not like you, Samuel. Next up, then we have Kaiman. Kaiman, what are you doing? What's going on? A 30 does, in fact, punch the fuck out of a fire mount. However, it is immune to fire damage, so it just does the 6 damage. But that is enough to get rid of it. So you just lift your hand up, punch this thing, and there's nothing left of it on the end of your hand as you just punch through the yellow one. There's your action. Any bonus actions? Any movement?
I still need it. I guess I'll just go around this one and fight that one.
20 does nom. 20 does nom.
Great.
10 slashing. Funnily enough, also destroys that one as you just run around it. Ow! Once again, just smoke billowing out of your mouth as you consume it in your mouth, and you just hit this. Cool. If that's everything, we have Navedo. What you doing, Navedo?
Some bears, please.
Some bears, please. How many bears?
I think it's 4 at 3rd level.
1, 2, 3, 4. Bunk. I came prepared.
2, 3, 4, 5. Balzanors gonna fucking die. He's gonna get chopped by bears.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10 will just revive him again.
Yeah.
Cleric's being here is quite handy. Cool.
Yeah.
4 bears summoned.
Just never gets old.
Never gets old.
Right. What a bear's roll? Bite attack is +5 and a claw attack is +5. So shall I roll 2 d20s +5 to each? That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. 2 of them. Oh, boo. There's an 18 hit.
So 18 does hit, yes.
Right. That's the second roll, so I guess that's got to be a claw attack, which is 2d6 +4. 13.
Oh yeah, 13 half because it's non-magical damage, so that's 6.
Next bear. Want to hit again. 2d6. 16.
16. I'm gonna hold you right there.
Ah.
Because he's going to use his reaction now that he's had his turn and gets his reaction back to go to fire teleport. 5, 10, 15, 20.
Wisdom save.
And yes, wisdom save. Yeah, easy pass, like a fucking 27. So I'm assuming is that half damage or not? No damage.
It's half damage.
Half damage, so 14 half to
Can't
7.
cast that at a higher level last session, but I'll go with level 3 for now.
Alright. Cool. And that bear, can it make me a dexterity saving throw?
Oh, yeah. No, I've got back up, and I did cast it at a higher level, so he's going to take half of 1 extra d8.
Cool. Takes 3 more damage.
That's a 4.
That is a 4. So, bear takes 6 points of fire damage. That was sublime with that roll.
Okay.
And the bear technically gains 1 point of burning, but I'm not going to bother with burning for all the bears because that's just a lot to keep track of.
So did the second the 16? Would you say that hit or no?
16 does not hit now.
Sorry, it says the second bear attacked and rolled a 17 +5
That does hit.
and did 16 damage. So 8 damage.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, sorry, yeah, I added that on, so 8 damage. Yep, already added that on.
So that's a 19 and a 20.
19 and a 20. I imagine the sound in this room to be so confusing. Because on one hand, there's like burning people, and there's crackling fire. And then all of a sudden, there's just the sound of fucking 4 bears just appearing and charging around the place. So that's 14 plus 5, 19 does hit, and 20 does hit.
So 1d8 +4 is 10. And then 2d6 +4. What's that? 10, 21, half of 21 is 12.
10.
Yes. It's definitely not 12.
Good effort.
Oh, well, you know you're not done, are you?
That last bear, I'm guessing neither of those hit.
No, neither of those hit, unfortunately.
Right, that's my turn done.
Legendary action. He's going to point at purple all the way over here, and he's going to make it go boom. So Giri, Daviak, and Mittens automatically fails. A dex save. So Giri, can you roll me up a dex save? Oh, Daviak rolls very, very well. He's going to take half. And you're going to take, unfortunately, the full damage. So that is 35 points of fire damage. Purple erupts in flame, and Mittens fails a death save. I'm going to say Mittens is going to make a death save at the very end of the initiative order. Mittens fails one death save.
Is he on 2 fails now?
No, now he's on 1 fail.
I thought I got hit by that cone attack.
He did, but that was to make him start making death saves. And now this one makes him fail one.
I'll see.
So that is that. Next up, we have the indomitable Giri Kubo. Looking for point. Now, technically, these are large creatures, so technically they should be occupying like that space there.
Oh, fucking bears, Luke.
There.
Can I go here?
No, because technically they're large, so they fill up the same amount of space as Borasoth. They take up a 2x2 square sort of thing.
You can share the same space as a creature, though.
You
Can't
you can't attack from the same space as a creature.
Where's the bear? This in the way?
Oh, I mean, they're all in the fucking way.
Well, if that one was there.
Well, because they're large and they take up that, meant you could say it was there, and therefore, yeah, there would be space there. But that's not where you fucking put it.
Cheers, Luke.
Anytime.
Can I?
Try and jump.
Oh no, I've got a fucking solution to all of this. Not a problem. I will use my gauntlet, and as a bonus action, I will cast Misty Step, which I think is 1 charge of my gauntlet. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, we'll say it is for now. It should be written on your sheet somewhere, I think. But
So I'll pop here. 5, 10, 15, and then I'll come here, and I'll get advantage with the bear on the other side.
You do get advantage with the bear on the other side.
We're gonna take a -5 on this one. 25.
25 does hit.
23 damage.
23 damage.
I'll go again.
Goes again.
-5 on this one. 23.
23
27 damage.
27 damage.
I'll go again.
Oh yeah, you got 3 attacks, didn't you?
-5. 26. 24 damage.
24 damage. Giri Kubo,
Yeah.
how do you want to do this?
Just unzip my trousers and take a piss on this fire.
Which, as a woman, is a lot more of a
Hey, I'm a skillful lady.
a lot more of an effort.
I don't know if you remember in that session where I purchased that Shiwi in the capital. No. As you can imagine, as it always is, unbelievably quick, strong attacks that just overwhelm even the strongest defenses. Well, a bit weird with fire, but
Nice. And as you make this final slash, Borasoth cuts. Well, you cut at Borasoth, and he falls back, hitting the ground. And as he hits the ground, it's almost a little bit anticlimactic, just because as he hits the ground, there's just this, just smoke dissipating on the ground. And it just pushes out in all areas until it just dissipates to nothing. And you just hear this soft, yeah, it just dissipates and leaves on the ground. Borasoth is gone. Can you make me? Fire motes. Fire motes are gone. They dissipate, but they don't just dissipate. As Borasoth dies, they compress themselves and they explode. When Borasoth dies, these guys have death throws, so they activate their detonate thing and explode. Unfortunately, all of you fuckers ran away from them. So this only really hurts Daviak, and it does mean one more failed death saving throw for Mittens, unfortunately. Daviak, I'm not even going to bother rolling the damage because the fight's over. But there is this one final erupting through the cavern. And then it would actually be Mittens. So can Mittens make me a death saving throw to see if he dies a second time?
Revivify.
Don't die first. It's good.
Make he's
It's
okay. It would then be Doc and heal, and everyone can heal. Most people can heal. So, it would go back around, and Daviak would pick him up, or anyone would pick him up. And the area goes very, very quiet. This cave, other than the burbling of water, which is still very, very warm, and just the burbling of the water sort of coming out of the hole in the wall, the area goes very, very quiet. This cave you've been in. Let me ask you, Luke, did you save a spell slot to open back up the door to the cave?
Yeah, I've got spells, man. Not intentionally, but
Fair enough. Yeah. In which case, the area is quiet. Smoke dissipates. Any levels of burning, I'm assuming you can just have healed off, and they would sort of dissipate as Borasoth dies. They begin to naturally die down on their own. So for every round after Borasoth dies, they just go down. But all of you are very, very healthy, thanks to Doc. So we won't bother too much with that. What do you want to do? Mittens is laying there on the ground.
Certainly stabilize Mittens. Yeah, not really sure what's going on with him at the moment. So
yeah,
there was obviously an element of some kind of indentured servitude, but whether or not that still persists, would be a little bit wary of.
Well, I will tell you that. Oh yes, no.
Drunk situation.
Until his dying breath, but he did then technically die in this. So yeah, by that Mittens, you cast your healing spell on him, you regain some hit points, and he begins to wake up, and his eyes are at first smoky and glowing again. You immediately think, "Shit, what am I going to do?" But then he blinks and blinks, and you rub your eyes, Mittens. But then go back to yours, and you're back to yourself. Your Leovan self. Everything is fine.
How did Giri? Where did you all come from? Where am I?
The cave. It's got a long story. Let's maybe not do this here. Where'd you come from?
Well, I mean, the last thing I remember, I was performing uproariously in a tavern, and absolutely no one left when I pulled out the bagpipes. So I was having a great time.
Insight check. Actually, I have surprisingly good insight.
You're a samurai. Samurais are insightful.
Many people left.
Ah, shut up.
Many.
The work's been hard to come by.
Can you answer? Can we address the elephant in the room?
There's an elephant?
Yeah, the fact that you're not green and a different race anymore.
Yeah, well, that was Balzanor. Balzanor did that.
Oh,
He
Is
like,
it
came
what?
to me
Do
and
you mean
said he
Bo-
could
do
fix
you mean
me.
Borasoth?
Who's Borasoth?
Yeah, Balzanor just sort of steps out from around the corner and goes, yeah, that wasn't me.
They looked like you and acted like you.
Well, that
You know.
wasn't me.
If it walks, talks, and quacks like a duck, it's a duck, right?
Right.
Yes.
It's very narrow-minded thinking in 2024.
Ducks are a spectrum.
Yes. Long story short, a demon my powers, my fire things, were apparently from some kind of demon that has been living inside me since, well, I'm technically his ancestor. We fought a wizard lady. I wasn't really paying attention. I was just sort of throwing fireballs around. And then Tiamat came and she was like, "Oh, you're my son, ancestor thing." And he made me into Borasoth. And I've spent the last month burning inside the back of Borasoth's mind, watching everything he's been doing and sitting patiently for one of you to hopefully come and get me. And enduring constant mind burning. It's been very, very strange. Thank you all for coming to get me. Hi guys. Great.
Hello, fire cow.
Oh,
I'm not sure I can be called fire cow anymore. And you can see him just like tensing every muscle, trying to conjure some kind of flame, some kind of thing. He's just pushing his hands together. And there's nothing. And there's nothing. And then tiny split appears between his hands. Slightly bigger spot. And he summons in his hands a firebolt that just sort of hovers in place in his hands. And he looks over to like a far corner of the room and just throws it off, hits the wall. Okay, that feels different. I won't ask any questions. I'm still a fire cow, I suppose.
It's all like pat him on the shoulder and be like, "It's all right. We all have performance issues sometimes."
Not
Just
go natural.
He just looks at you and just stares, and there's just like slight smoke coming out of his nose. I'm not impressed with your joke right now.
Possibly.
I have somewhat missed you. And he does just like and an action, like nod. The Balzanor is pretty much giving you a massive hug. He looks around to everyone and says, firstly, I have some things I really badly need to tell all of you. Secondly, how do we get out of this cave? I don't see an exit. And thirdly, is someone going to explain the crocodile in armor?
Doc will say, "Well, I can get us all back home. That's Kaiman. He's great. he has an affinity for fire like you, so you two should get along swimmingly.
Oh,
An excellent blacksmith as well. So if you need a new club at any point, I'm sure he can make one for you.
clubs are generally done through, wood, but
But,
it- we'll see what we
what
can
club
come up
isn't
with.
improved by a big spike on it?
Valid point. Valid point. Yes, I think we should maybe leave. I have some things. I need everyone to hear this. This is quite important. As
Okay.
I say, I spent all my time in the back of his mind watching, and I've managed to pick up a few things, a few bits of information.
There is a slight problem.
Yeah.
I can only transport 6 of us back to the capital. Someone's going to have to walk.
Vote Daviak.
Yeah, Daviak just sort of was like, it's gonna be me, isn't it? All right. Yeah, I think I left my griffin outside, so yeah, I suppose
Griffin's a person, Daviak. Come on, you can't own a person anymore.
I thought you
Or
were.
in certain parts of the country.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna visit Northgard anyway. Fuck it. Okay. Yeah, just tell people where I am, so people don't start thinking another fucking councilman of war died. Okay. And yeah, I'm assuming with your spell slot, Navedo, you can open up the door for Daviak to get out. And the Daviak, he sort of like whistles in his hands. His griffin flies down, perches upon the edge, gets upon its back. He's got like a saddle sort of already there on his back, and he looks at you all and says, "Well, I'll see you guys in a little bit. Come on." And it almost just looks like the griffin just jumps off the edge and doesn't start flying, but that's just so that it can sort of get some momentum and then flies up, flapping its huge wings, and Daviak disappears off into the distance. I'm assuming then you'd like to head back on?
Yeah, I can cast Word of Recall and transport myself and up to 5 willing creatures to a previously designated sanctuary.
And yeah, you said your sanctuary was the Temple of Apollo in the capital.
Yeah, the Temple of Apollo in the capital.
Sweet. In which case, you'll, as Dokrumir weaves his spell, light, like golden light, just begins to sort of spin and emerge all around you, and with this sudden like dropping sensation, in your like gut or whatever, blinding light that appears. Suddenly, you appear in a constrictions. There are many people around, finishing up sort of different aspects of what they were doing, probably for lunch, or something of the like. Like there's half people sort of finishing up and half people sort of coming in to fill in roles that need doing. There's like a hole in the roof that's being repaired on one side, some glass panes being put in on another side, and you guys suddenly like this bright light and people appearing. You suddenly hear this like sound of smashing glass. As someone who was very carefully putting in one of the panes of glass was like, "Ah!" and drops it off the side and all over the floor. All these builders are now just staring at you, this group of people, in the middle of what they thought was a derelict and broken down temple. What would you like to do? Where would you like to go?
Way to the Westland, I think. Or home. Where's everyone else likely to be?
Well, that is a very good question. Brings me on to the next point of order. So it has been 1 week. 1 week of constructing the cave and getting all the stuff prepared for all this. So, what is it? I'm going to go around everyone, and we can just give a brief description of what some people were doing. And I'm going to start with Luke, because I know Luke had some stuff prepared for both of his characters. Some basic stuff anyway. I don't know if you had anything else. But what has, say, Oramus doing this past week? Has Oramus been commanding his ship around and doing stuff? I'm assuming he's been training his new recruit, Mason, to be more street. You are mute or on mute.
Yes, training Mason, purchasing upgrade for my hidden blade.
Yep, takes a couple of days to do. Your hidden blade is now a +1 weapon.
Nice.
On magicals.
Yeah, training Mason, a bit more magical, and also just generally trying to buff the crew a little bit.
Yeah, spend some time sort of buffing. Is that like your main crew?
Yeah, of the Dragon's Revenge.
Yeah, spending some time. Yeah, just getting them themselves. Yeah, Dragon's Revenge. That's the small one, right? I thought.
Sorry, the Vengeance. The Vengeance.
Yeah, getting them all ship shape and prepared. Roll me a. I'm gonna say no. You're like getting level 18 now. It makes sense that they might level up a little bit, and I'll confer with you that in the week, but of how we're gonna handle that. But your crew have somewhat leveled up in the week that you've been spending with them, sort of going through, properly, sort of spending some time and saying, okay, this is how I want this done. This is how I want some of the more minutiae details done, and sort of emergency drills and things like that going around the ship. Are you getting your other ships to go on any missions or anything, or
potentially? But I haven't actually thought out what kind of missions they could go on for us.
If you want money missions, that's easy. That's just an easy set of D20 rolls. But if it's any missions for the Guardians, then have a think, and we can sort that out.
Yeah.
Did you want any of them to go on money missions, or are they both going to be trying to be useful?
I mean, Caspian can go off on a little money mission. The other one, the bigger boat, would be potentially quite useful to have at the Guardians' use.
Okay, so it's the Dragon's Revenge. The schooner is going to go on a little money mission. Did you want them to go on an easy mission, medium mission, or a hard mission? So they have a +5 to this roll. Easy difficulty check is 10, medium 15, hard 18.
They can go on a medium mission.
Okay, so roll me 3d20.
Okay.
Bear in mind, if they fail, there may be costs associated with failing. But if you pass, you'll be fine. So that'll be +5. Yeah, you pass 2 out of the 3. So as much as they get on a bit of a sort of rocky start, they're basically commanded to go down south and deliver some stuff to Dernstad and come back. Some artifacts for the college. And as much as one of them does break as they're sort of setting off in some troublesome weather, they manage to make up for it by getting there in pretty good time. And you get 500 gold from your crew doing that a week. How much of that you give to your crew is entirely up to you. You are just at the end of the mission, present Caspian comes to you and says, we earn 500 gold. What do you want to do with
it? Oramus keeps 300, distributes 200 to the crew.
200 to the crew, which isn't a big crew, so they're pretty happy with that. And you get the rest. You get 300. Nice.
Yeah, and then the hidden blade.
And the hidden blade, yes. So you get that in. That's 1,000 gold pieces to level that up from from nothing to a +1 weapon. That takes a few days, leaving it with an enchanter. But yeah, you can have that leveled up. So that is now a +1 weapon in the hidden blade thing. If you click on the little cog, and there should be a magic bonus thing you can add to it, and just add a 1 in there. That's all good.
And yeah, one other thing.
Yeah.
We discussed that thing about Oramus's cloak. Is there a way you could pay for someone to kind of imbue the magic into his coat to do that.
Oh, okay. So instead of having potentially your patron have that sort of thing, have someone do that. Yes, could be done. Possibly speaking to the same sort of enchanter, they're probably in the Falcon District, because this is quite high level, or in the Cloud District nearer to the college being rebuilt. It's quite high level magic sort of thing to do. This would put it to a pretty rare item. So they would say yes. It'll take us probably around 2 weeks to fully enchant the thing. So you'll at the end of this week, you're 1 week into it. But and it would cost. I'm going to say something like that would cost about 5,000 gold.
I mean, I have plenty of money, but yeah, do you know, I'll pay for it. I'll pay for it.
Cool. 5,000 gold. So you obviously pay half up front, half at the end. But yes, you can have that sort of commissioned, and in 1 more week after this one. So maybe write that down somewhere. Just that. So in 1 week you will have this item. So if you guys just wanted to like wait a week before you go off and do anything else, this item.
Did Aramis haggle for that, by the way?
No, you didn't just haggle me or try and haggle me.
Oh, can Aramis?
What would Aramis say to try? How would you? So imagine a like very very standard wizard, like Merlin try-hard-esque wizard standing by the counter. What would you say to him to try and haggle him down on this item?
As a member of the council, it is your duty to help me protect this nation of ours, and by providing this at a lower cost, you will be doing a great service to our beloved nation.
Oh, go on, roll him a persuasion check. You put the council thing in there.
Oh, I wonder if this will pass.
So 36. So originally he was going to go down about 10%, but with that he knocks you down to 4,250. As he's just there, like he basically says, "Okay, but you mentioned you're on the council. You must meet with the new archmage. Could you drop my name to him? Drop my store. See if he'd maybe be interested in coming around and having a chat about this enchanting business. I'd be very very interested.
If the work is satisfactory, I'd gladly do so.
Brilliant. Yes, brilliant, fantastic." And yeah.
So how much? 4,200 something.
4,250. You can
Okay.
you can gain that clock in, as I said, about a week.
Sweet.
Galahad, I'm assuming, has been training with Damien and promoting Damien.
Yes.
And you do the sort of promoting ceremony. One thing does happen with that.
Oh.
Before the ceremony, the night before the ceremony, you get a knock on your door. Wherever you're staying, get a knock on your door. And on the other side is Damien. He sits down with you. He says, "Galahad, thank you so much for training me and everything, but before whatever happens tomorrow happens, I just need to tell you something. I don't think I can go through with all of this before I tell you the truth about where I've come from, I suppose. The archpriest Balor, when I came to you, he said I had a rough background, but he kind of put that down a little bit. My parents were thieves, robbers, and just generally bandits, and I grew up in that sort of atmosphere. And I spent most of my life up to this point learning to rob, steal, and kill people alongside them. They told me that was an honest way of making money was no way of making money at all. They said you had to be dishonest in this kind of world, and yeah. I usually was muscle. I spent most of the time beating up people who were a bit resistant, but there was some occasions where things went too far. People retaliated, things didn't go our way, and on 5 occasions I didn't have to, I just did kill people. Innocent people who were just walking down in the Kingswood. That was me. I'm far gone from that life now. I promise you. I haven't seen or spoken to any of them people in a very, very long time. That if after hearing this you don't want to train me anymore, or you want to call off whatever happens tomorrow, I understand.
Galahad puts his arm on Damien's shoulder and says, we cannot control the winds, but we can control how we adjust our sails. If you choose this life, you'll be choosing a path of righteousness, and you can redeem your past. My son.
Yeah.
It sounds like Galahad, but it also doesn't sound like Galahad.
We cannot control the winds, but you can adjust your sails.
There it is. Yeah, with that, he kind of like breaks down crying a little bit, gives you a hug. You guys spend a little bit of time sort of talking, and he basically like opens up to you about most of his life back then, about how, as I said, was a robber and stuff, and how he found that he was basically abandoned by his parents for choosing not to attack someone. Because then not attacking someone, that person got away, and they brought guards back with them. There was a whole thing, but the Archpriest of Pelor decided to give him community service, instead of like full imprisonment. And he would spend a lot of time just like cleaning around the cathedral, obviously guarded, cleaning around the cathedral, picked up an aptitude, made a rapport with the people there, and eventually got trained. That was some of the stuff Damien's been sort of hiding from you, I suppose. And yeah, you spend the rest of the evening talking. And then, as we said, the next day, at sunup, at sunrise, there is a proceeding on the sort of like cliffs nearby the capital. As the sort of sun is rising, you sort of hold your Godbane blade out, and do the classic sort of like tapping on each other's shoulders. There are several clerics of Pelor there, as well as any of the guardians who want to be there and be there for Damien's big day. And it's not a long procedure. It's really not a long procedure, but it is certainly a memorable one, especially at the time. And funnily enough, as it's been fairly miserable weather for the past sort of week in Ambyr, the sun does brighten up clear skies this morning as it rises in beautiful sort of orange burned skies as Damien is allowed to fold. And now he is still, subservient to you. You are still training him, but it's a bit like sort of Anakin and Obi-Wan in the Clone Wars sort of thing, where it's like, he's his own person now, but just as, master, or you're still sort of in charge of him, and there's still some work to be done with Damien. But and this week I will rebuild Damien's block to be a paladin. I'm gonna properly redo his block this week. But he'll have most of the same sort of stuff. It's just in a more of a stat blocking form, and he'll have a bit more paladin spellcasting and different things like that. Is there anything else Galahad wanted to do in the week, or we go on? Quickly moving on. Felix, he went home.
Felix went home. He was spending some time with his family, but also in amongst that, working on various projects and things. I think the main one is his idea, he's got these various fey crystals, and it's like the red ones are more sort of like vitality related, and the blue ones are more sort of magic related, aren't they?
So the red ones can give you a bonus to your spellcasting DC for a certain amount of time. The blue ones can give you back a spell slot. It's almost like the red ones, yeah, as you say, are more concentrated on your vitality. The red ones are almost like a Red Bull for you, and the blue ones are almost like a battery that you can absorb.
Yeah, so I think his idea is to work off that, is to like try and incorporate that into this like pistol design that he's been slowly expanding on, and see if he can turn that into a sort of the equivalent of like an arcane magazine or power source that will either recharge on its own over time just by like drawing energy from the world around it, or can be recharged with magic if it needs to.
Okay. Make me. So I'll say to get home costs 3 days. 3 days. And then you have plenty more days left. So I would say make me 3 tinkering checks.
3 tinkering checks. Okay.
Yeah. DCs could be fairly high because this isn't stuff you've worked.
All right. Yeah. Proficiency bonus is doubled for these, so there's an extra 6 on top of all of these.
All right. That'll help because
So
it's DC 18.
20 for the first one, 34 for the second one, and a 34 for the third one.
You smash the DC 18, and you realize once you start going with these fake crystals that it's actually fairly self-explanatory. It is literally just like an energy that you can transfer into these different things, and once you work out sort of how to do that with sort of magical runes and some magical things, it is fairly easy work to sort of get going. And you immediately start thinking of like, well, if this was fairly easy, what else could I do? As you hold up your somewhat finished gun. I'd probably say it takes you like maybe a couple of extra sort of days of tinkering and things like that.
Yeah, like this is very like work in progress, but he knows what the plan is. There is an item in Fizban's called the Topaz Annihilator, which is sort of what I've got the idea from. We can have a chat about how it actually works, because the Topaz Annihilator is a legendary item that deals too much damage for what Felix should be able to build, but
300 feet fucking range.
Yeah,
oh no,
like
100 feet normal
yeah,
range.
it's basically a legendary firearm, which like I'm not working on, but it's like where I've got the idea to like create this from, and we can discuss exactly how it works mechanically later on.
Yeah, sounds good. Can also cast disintegrate. Fucking hell. Okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely not expecting that feature from
it. That'd be fucking sick. It's high noon, boys. Great. So it's a magic pistol. Cool. Obviously, Doc and Mittens were both there, so that's fine. Glyndon and Griffin. What do they have any particular plans? Anything they particularly would like to have been doing during the week?
Not really for Griffin. He'd have probably been spreading the word of the good man's here.
Yeah, I was going to say Griffin gets called in to basically be like settle an argument in the courts for like 2 days. There's a whole thing with like some jury and some people who were involved with some stuff. Griffin sort of gets called into that. I imagine by the end of it, Griffin is very, very bored because it's a lot of people arguing and not a lot of action. Until right at the end, where the guy who ends up being guilty tries to run away, and you're tasked with the like he starts to run away, and they're like, "Well, you're a paladin, go get him," and you finally just pick up your ass, like, finally, and you manage to move off. And
Griffin's just watching him, just like, no, hold. Now it's a fair fight.
Yeah. That would probably take up like maybe like 2 days of Griffin's time, but otherwise, Glyndon?
So still helping to rebuild the college and stuff, but then he probably, I was just reading back through the notes he sent me about those robes. He'd probably go and look for the ones that were in the giant's cave out of all the ones that you sent me.
Oh, interesting. Okay. How, like, are you bringing anyone with you, or are you just sort of going at it alone and seeing if you can grab them?
I mean, I'm powerful enough to just. It depends how clear an image I got from my divination, but
You just sort of got the knowledge that they were there and a few sporadic sort of scenes of an icy cold cave with a very, very large giant creature in the background, or several large giant creatures in the background, and in like the snow and everything, just like this very, very thin image of some roads underneath the snow. It's like it's sort of thing you could barely make sort of anything heads or tail of it. But you know it is in the north. You know about where the place is. You can go scout out the place if you'd like.
yeah, probably just do that, and then
Yeah, so
just
places
get in and get out.
Place is inhabited by around 7 or 8 frost giants. Frost giants being, I think, like CR something monsters. They're like CR. CR8 monsters. So a few of them would certainly be a bit too much for Glyndon. But do you have any ideas right now of how you might get around those individuals?
I mean, I have the world of magic at my feet.
You do.
Probably turn invisible. So I've got onto my sheet to look for spells, and I'm on Giri's sheet, and surprising that she has no spells. Yeah, I mean, just go invisible, pick my way through. And then always with the idea that I could just teleport out if I need to.
Yeah. Okay. Roll me. Just roll me a stealth check with advantage. Let's just see sort of how well you would do with invisible thing. What's their perception? So interesting. Yeah. So you would turn invisible. You begin sort of sneaking in, and you get to the room where they are. But you are unfortunately caught because they have a passive perception of 13. So you've matched it. So matched it. No, matched it beats it. Oh, how would it work for this? Because you've matched their passive perception. When you roll to hit, and you match their AC, you do technically hit. So I'm going to say when you do this and you match their passive perception, no, their passive perception. Oh, this is difficult. I'm going to say, yeah, you do get caught. You end up having to teleport home after the sort of first try. That is something we will work out. We're going to go on break in a second anyway. So I'll work it out very, very quickly. But yeah, we can sort of figure that out as to how you might be able to do that very, very quickly. Yes, but was there anything else apart from any of that stuff?
No, just that.
Cool. All right. Well, I think in that case, obviously, Kaiman, you're up in the north, so that's fine. So with that out of the way, we'll go on a quick 5-minute break, and when you are back, we'll get to some of the rest of the stuff, some of the stuff Balzanor had to tell you guys, as well as this potentially these robes and some other things. So I'll see you guys. Hope everyone had a lovely break. Time to shit and all that. And if we are back, then here's what we're going to do. I'm going to say that Glyndon. So you did that first trip up, and you nearly got there, but you were caught. 4 frost giants charging at you. You teleported away. Easy enough. Maybe you took a hit. Whatever. You're level 17 wizard. Teleport away. Learning from your mistake of going alone, that you can bring some friends with you. And I would say that you could bring some Mazzi's available and offers to come with you. Oramis is in and about. Oramis can come with you, or Galahad, whichever one you want. Doc is north, Min's is north, Felix is way. So no one necessarily from this side. But Mazzi, Oramis, and yourself. Well, Griffin, actually, if you think Griffin would possibly come and join.
And Giri. She could just nuke all these frost giants.
Well, I would say Giri is preparing for the stuff with Balzanor during this week, so unfortunately not. But this is I'm gonna make this come down to a skill challenge. Really, really quickly, just a couple of rolls. So this is a frost giant lair, and they are CR 8. 10 plus 8, 18. DC for this stuff is going to be 18. How would you, using skills or different things like that, go into a frost giant? Like what aspect of you, each of these characters, use to get in, grab the item? Because all you need to do is grab the item, then Glyndon can teleport away. So that's fine. So, for example, Glyndon, if you were going to use your spell kind of thing, I would say that's an Arcana check, because you are using spellcasting. If that was the thing for yours, but it can be anything. I'll give you a quick second to think.
Arcana.
Arcana. There we go. So roll me an Arcana check. $21. That is 1 success. I'm going to say we need 3 successes for DC 18. Oramis. What aspect of Oramis do you think he would like to use to get into a frost giant's lair and grab the thing that Glyndon wants? You are on mute.
I'm guessing persuasion's off the table.
If you can convince me how you would use persuasion in this moment. So imagine very generic, big cave made of ice, 8 frost giants living inside. How would Oramis try and use persuasion
I just persuade him to give it up.
to help?
No, I'm joking. I'll use acrobatics.
Acrobatics. Okay. Like, avoiding items.
Yeah,
Duck
being
accent.
nimble and sneaky. And...
Okay. I like that. Roll me an acrobatics check. 2 successes. Only need 1 more success. And that would be from
I don't know if your acrobatics is so good.
Yeah, boy.
from Mazzi. And Mazzi, being
Proficiency.
ever helpful sod, is going to open up his character sheet first, because it's probably be quite helpful. And Mazzi is going to use probably. Mazzi's going to use. What's he really good in? Investigations. Mazzi's going to use stealth. Either +8 for stealth. Or no, he's going to use athletics +9 for athletics. And this is just, him just like when you guys eventually do get caught, just charging, powering through, being very, very quick, not necessarily nimble, but just strong in certain aspects of this dungeon. And that is your 3rd success. So after, I would say it's like 2 days, you guys going there, scouting the place out once more, going in, I would say you take out a couple of the frost giants in your attempt, but you manage to go into the final room, and just where it was in your vision, in this sort of scattered thing of your vision, you just remember seeing like some light in like on like the left of where this thing was, and light is actually the entrance into the cave. And so you sort of triangulate that and go, oh, it's in the corner. You manage to dust off a load of snow and things like that from around the side and everywhere. And in and amongst the snow, sort of scrumpled up, as if, these frost giants clearly do not know how powerful this item is. You find what you're looking for. And very, very easily enough. Just as, frost giant was sprinting behind all of you, about to make a massive sweep with his club, trying to knock all of you away. Everyone gathers around you. It's going to fall. And you're making it happen. Easy enough. Sorted. And you can add your character. You will have to attune to it, because there's something you're going to unattune to in order to. I'm assuming your other robes, actually.
Yeah. And then I'll probably work on, because I get I'm able to have my intelligence to that.
Yeah.
Instead of my deck, I'll probably work on putting that enchantment into these robes of Archmage, if that's possible.
I would say that not necessarily compact, because you put the robes of the Archmage is 15 plus intelligence. The robes you previously had were just you use your intelligence instead of dexterity. So I would say that they're not. I'll say what we'll discuss. I'll have a think about it. Discuss it in a week. Not necessarily just flat out saying no, but we'll discuss it in the week about maybe something that could be added on. But whatever it is, it's going to be fairly costly because you're trying to further enchant a legendary item. And there's only so much magic a thing can hold. But it's something we will talk about and we'll discuss. Any more conversations, any more things people wanted to buy, anything like that? Or are we happy to go into having a sit down with Balzanor and him telling you some stuff he's found?
Is that, yeah?
So, the night everyone gets back, Balzanor is very, very happy to have a meal. And before he tells you guys anything, he insists on having a big meal because he's very, very hungry. He eats and eats and eats and eats and eats. And it's this quite sort of homely thing of Balzanor coming back to the capital, seeing the actual destruction. Well, things are on the menu. And he settles down and he says, right, well, on to some information, I suppose. Where we can begin? So firstly, I will say that, well, thank you for coming to get me. Whether you came to get me because of me or because you want to cut the head off the snake, I don't know. Either way, thank you. Borasoth spent most of his time gathering those who owed Tiamat a debt. As she said when you met her in the tower, Tiamat spent her time in hell the first time. When she wasn't in her own lair, she was just another demon. She spent all of her time gaining devils and demons' favor, basically building up debts, building up debtors, I should say, doing favors for people for seemingly no reason other than a debt to be repaid one day. And she helped a fair amount of demons, and now that is she's getting those back. She's calling those in. Now, many of the demons didn't really rise to anything of significant stance. Maybe a dozen devils in their purview, but it is the few that really rose that make up most of her forces. A few pitch fiends who have a few hundred loyal to them, a few dukes and different individuals, but there is one who has more forces than all the rest combined, it seems. His name is Borasoth, the adjudicator. it seems Oberos Tiamat did a very, very large favor for Oberos a long time ago when he was there, and he took that and just kept rising and rising through the ranks. He did not quite expect to have to owe Tiamat this deal, but he is making a fair contribution to it. However, by freeing me, by defeating Borasoth, you've given yourself time. After Borasoth found you in the Feywild, he was going to launch the attack in 1 month from then, which is about 2 weeks from now. But that has been put on hold. Because, well, as always, demons hate each other. The only reason they all worked together was because Borasoth kept them in line, but without Borasoth, they are nothing. They have no leader, they have no focus. They will fight and squabble amongst themselves until one of them comes the victor. So you've bought yourself some time. I know not how much time, but certainly time. I don't know how they were planning on getting here. I know where in hell they were going to meet to come here. There's some portal or something that was going to be created, but I don't know where that would be on this plane. She kept that from Borasoth. She kept that information. There was something else as well. Something, I don't know what to stop in your plans, but in the meeting with Tiamat, you asked why she was so keen for you to come to her. You asked her why she was telling you everything she knew. Well, because if you go to her plane, she's free. The way she described it to Borasoth, think of the lock around her plane as a ball of glass. Tiamat is within this ball and is not powerful enough to break through at the present moment. But one day, after she's accumulated, prayers and sacrifices from people on this world, as well as potentially absorbing Muhammad, she will be powerful enough to break through. Also, if anything from outside the ball of glass goes in, that will shatter the whole thing. The veil will drop, the bubble will pop, the glass will be shattered. Meaning that she can then technically get out again. Now, I suppose you could still go in there and catch her by surprise. I think that unless you want her freed on any other plane of existence, I think that is possibly the only way you do this. But I mean, I don't know. I will let you guys figure out the plans. I just thought I would tell you as soon as she realizes anything else is in her plane, she can not only bring other things in, potentially, other forces, other allies, but she can also get out herself, potentially. And for the gods, it is not a simple act of snap and the lock gets back up again. No, it took a fair amount of time to create this lock. I don't know if that is helpful or not, but that is what I know. Daviak looks to Balzanor and sort of, puts his hand on his shoulder and says, I'm going to need to speak with you about, what they're packing in hell. I mean, I'm going to need to speak to you about the kinds of things you might be up against. Maybe me and the Drangas can try and come up with some kind of plan. But the Tiamat thing. I mean, anyone got any ideas? Anything?
Well, it seems like an easy choice if you ask me. Doc. If we go in, she breaks free. If we don't go in, she kills Bahamut and she breaks free anyway. Regardless of what state he's in, if he's alive, he's an ally. I don't see that we have a choice. We also, as as Balzanor pointed out, somewhat control when and where. If we sit around and wait, we don't know what will happen. We know the solstice is coming. She gave us the deadline, but we don't know if she breaks free on the solstice. Will she launch an attack immediately, or will she go somewhere else? Will she hide? Will she recuperate more power? If we don't take her out before then, we could be looking at an ambush against a much more powerful foe somewhere down the line. The choice seems simple if you ask me. Besides, we have the element of surprise, as it were. We can plan, we can plot. Glendon, you mentioned you met with some dragons from Titan, and they wanted to meet us. We should do that ere long. Otherwise, see what aid they can offer. It's unlikely they'll be able to help here, given how people feel. Or maybe it would be an opportunity for them to help here and change people's minds about dragons. Or maybe they can provide us aid when we go.
So I think Daviak could pipe up and say, yeah, I mean, help of dragons on the home front would be, I mean, by the sounds of it, that's quite a sizable army he's got. And we're just coming out of all the crap that we've come out of. Our army's really not looking too good. We could use any help we can get over here, but I guess in the end, it's about taking down Tiamat. So
we still need to find and get to that route, which Clinton, depending on what you shared, would all know is somewhere in Titan. Maybe these dragons will, if we meet them, will be able to offer us some aid or some information or something about what we're potentially walking into. Strange climate, strange environment, strange people.
Okay. Any more takes on that? Any more questions for Balzanor? Anything like that? Or are people happy to move on?
As a religious man, would I know anything about if there was any correlation between locations in Hell and locations on the material plane? Balzanor said he knew of where they were planning to exit Hell. Would I know that I could sort of plot points in between and sort of like if there was any sort of a relationship, like if I went to a point in Hell and then like emerged and then like walked like a mile in Hell, would I then emerge a mile in the same direction on the material plane, or would it be like 2 miles? Is there no relation at all?
Yeah, unfortunately, there is no relation at all. The only reason there's relation on the Shadowfell Feywild is because they're echoes of the material plane. When the world was, people say when the world was created, there was reverberations, and those reverberations were the Feywild and the Shadowfell. The Hell is, an entirely separate entity. One thing I think you probably would know is that technically all the layers of hell are the same. They're all this like they are all technically the same sort of thing, not really different in environment, but the geography is the same.
Yeah. So Balzanor said they had a point they were planning on coming out of, and said, did he say they have a portal, or they're going to build one, or summon one?
They he would basically say that like the army is getting ready to, and when a signal was to be given, they would all meet at this one place in hell. All these armies would converge on this one place in hell, and they would march through this point. And that is how they would come to this
And
point.
the
But he doesn't know
portal is
where.
a permanent feature, something that their spellcasters are going to create. Basically, I'm trying to work out: is there a Stargate we can potentially sabotage, or
As far as you know, no. Like no portal is being constructed, no portal is being made. No one. He hasn't told. Like Borasoth never told anyone to start making a portal to the material plane.
they probably just
It's
got
just
the spellcasting power to do it?
they're just going to gather somewhere, and as far as Balzanor knows, they're going to gather somewhere on a specific date at a specific time, and suddenly there will just be a portal. He doesn't know how. There will just be a portal, and they can walk through it.
Okay. That sounds like a hard plan to sabotage. I shall ruminate on this.
Indeed. Cool. So with that, with that out of the way, is there anything else anyone would like to do? And what would you guys like to do now? Obviously, the last port of call, the last mission before you start going into thinking about the end game, unless there's other stuff you guys wanted to do, would be going to Titan, to the Glindons or the city of Abercrombie, somewhere beneath, near that city is the Tree of Yggdrasil, somewhere near there. So that is that is, I suppose, the next sort of quote unquote mission you guys had decided.
Yes, with no immediate expectation to use gate, I'm going to return the diamond to the vault.
Return the diamond to the vault. Okay.
Just so I'm not walking around with that.
And also, was there anything else you were going to do with, in regards of Borasoth? Because remember, when he dies on the material plane, that's not him dead. He just goes back to him.
That's a good point.
Severely weakened, I would say. I believe you made a medicine check to, a religion check, and identified that though he is a very powerful creature, very very powerful fiend, he would be severely weakened when he's gone back to hell.
Okay. Yeah, that's And do any of us know that would Balzanor be at risk again should Borasoth fully recover?
You have, I mean, you can make a religion check for me.
There it is. 14.
You don't exactly know. Demonic possession is very different to like ghost possession, because demonic possession is generally there's a stronger link there, and it's a little bit kind of hard to, it's different. There is like magical, and there is a history of happening and things like that. Whereas sort of undead possession is generally just a ghost goes inside someone's body and fucks around for a little while, or does whatever for a little while. But demonic possession is a thing that can be long term sustained. So you've got really no idea as to whether you sort of think maybe yes, because he was like a spirit that did possess someone, or if he was possessing Balzanor, which makes you think maybe you could all be at risk. But also, you think he's reduced in power, and also surely he's not still a spirit when he goes back there. He would sort of regain some form, so maybe none of you are at risk.
Yeah. Is there
Sure.
is there any knowledge on how long that sort of process of fully reforming takes? Is there like a linear scale based on the demon's previous power or devil's previous power level, that, or is it just sort of like there's no one has done enough research to figure that stuff out yet?
Yeah, no one's really done enough research to figure that stuff out. But as far as you would maybe think, is just how many allies do they have? Because on the other side, they could either appear back in hell severely weakened, and then just get beat up by a bunch of other devils and demons, and then just die, or they could appear there severely weakened, and their allies would come, help them out, get them, bring them back to where they were, build them recover it, as they respect their leader and
Okay.
favor Lord's help.
What do people feel about a mission into hell?
I think you just fucking go in and smash them up.
Second that.
I believe your previous idea was to cast gate. You did briefly talk about this before, facing about Borasoth, and your idea was to cast gate and basically push him back through the portal and kill him. Was your kind of idea?
Yeah, I think given the state we were in after that last fight, it seems like we weren't really in a position to immediately take on him and his forces in hell.
Yeah.
Daviak also said he thinks he knows where it is, and we have a name we had a name that we learned for where his fortress was, or what it was called, wasn't it? It was the Iron Citadel?
Yes, the Iron Furnace.
The Iron Furnace.
On the 4th layer of hell, Phlegathos. Daviak could definitely just get you guys there. If you provided him a way to Phlegathos, he could he's studied a fair bit of it, so he could figure his way out to get there. But if you gated eventually to him or something or whatever.
Yeah. So potential plan. One group goes to Titan to find the root of Yggdrasil, led by Glyndon, presumably. And then another group, meanwhile, we try and find something so that someone can cast like a plane shift of Phlegathos or something like that to the furnace.
I don't know.
Those sound like, I don't know, like 2 missions before we really take on the final thing.
Yeah, and obviously, you got Yggdrasil, but if you wanted Borasoth gone, then that certainly sounds like something that you could certainly achieve. We can spend a small amount of time going through that. I would say, which one would you like to start now? Which one would you like to go through and begin now? Would you like to go to have some fight, or would you like to potentially try and figure out how to go to hell?
If we go and deal with Tiamat, do we actually need to go to?
Yeah, we're not just going there anyway.
Do we actually need to go to hell? I guess it depends on the timescale. If we feel ready to deal with Tiamat before we feel ready to do anything else, because obviously the longer we wait, the more chance he has of reforming. And Borasoth said Balzanor said once we break the prison, she can potentially bring other things in there. So it depends what people want to do, really.
Yeah.
Like, I think the obvious thing in front of us is Titan Yggdrasil, that path, and then we can figure out as a group whether or not we actually want to do any other things before the end. My RPG brain is very much like do all the side quests before, because it makes the final quest easier.
Yeah, so I just main storyline straight to the end. If I'm under leveled.
Figure out the other shit later.
Yeah. And later never comes.
What's this recommended mission difficulty 10? I'm level 37. I've been fishing for 17 hours.
Yeah, that's not a bit of me. That is not a bit of me.
Yeah, I'm happy to just kick it onto the end path.
Okay, so Yggdrasil, Titan.
Yggdrasil, Titan.
Go
Okay.
for it.
One very good question then. How long after doing Borasoth stuff are you going to go to Titan? Bear in mind, Luke, you have a week left on your quote. And if else anyone wanted to do.
I reckon in like a week's time.
Well, this is entirely up to you guys. Just a question for you guys, just to figure it.
But is there anything we need to do? We've got that. Galahad's got that sword. That should help.
Galahad does have a sword. Also depends who wants to come. Who is going to Titan?
Everyone.
Who would you guys like to play?
Absolutely everyone.
Disagree.
So what did you say?
I said disagree.
I believe you also said it's completely up to you.
I did say it's completely up to you about which character.
No. Don't be putting any clauses or shit in.
Singular. I don't mind you guys have multiple characters, but I do mind when. I mean, for a final fight, I think it'd be fun, but stuff leading up to, I would appreciate us just using technically one character, because A, combat takes long enough anyway, and B, it's hard enough to balance combat anyway. And having multiple characters around makes RP just good and enough. So, who's bringing who to Titan?
Take Glyndon.
Glyndon. Luke, who are you bringing?
Oramus.
JJ, who are you bringing?
Opportunity to retread old routes and stuff like that. And Doc has a strong sense of duty and stuff that he's trying to help with here.
Sounds good. And Kaiman, you're obviously bringing Kaiman.
This is where
So-
Ryan goes, no, I'm going to bring Dave. Dave is a level 18 sorcerer.
This guy called Beats. Oh dear Christ. Okay, so you all gather yourselves together, and you prepare to teleport to Titan. We can say this is a week after for Monsieur Victor. And Sam, you are going to. Where are you specifically going to with your teleport?
So where did I see the route was? Underneath the city.
You saw it somewhere near the city, underground, and the city was called Abacatcha.
Just go to Abercatcher then. Just try and find a way down.
Okie dokie. It is a. So let me roll up. D&D teleport. What's the teleport table? So you have viewed it once. So roll me a D100 on a 74 to 100. You appear right there. 54 to 73, off target. 44 to 53, similar area. And
Off target.
Off target. Right. Off target. generally means somewhere in the vicinity. So, you all gather around Glyndon. Glyndon taps his staff on the ground, casting the spell. Magic swirls all around you, and suddenly, a bit like stepping out of an airport into a very hot country from the very air-conditioned airport, you are just suddenly hit with a wave of heat. Heat like most of you haven't really felt, because most of you haven't really gone to countries or hot places like this. And you appear in the middle of a large, like, desert plains type area. Think like the sort of like kind of like Grand Canyon type thing, but everything's a little bit sort of reddish colored, and it is sort of around sundown due to the sort of time differences. You are seemingly in the middle of nowhere. But from your vision, Glyndon, you remember you are in a. This is certainly the right terrain. You just have no idea where you are and where you are in relation to the city of Abercatcher. What would you like to do? So, big, dusty desert plains, sort of like a group of like vultures just like fly overhead. Let's say.
I mean, I know it's a bit early, but would now be a good point to pause the session before we get into anything too.
Actually, yeah, that's a good point because you guys have got to like level up in the week and stuff like that. So yeah, I'll tell you what, yeah, we'll call it early for this session, and next week we will pick up with this, I suppose, unless there's anything else, sort of like the final arc before the end, boys. Final arc before the final arc, I suppose.
Well, exciting.
You can all have your Thursday nights back.
All right.
Lovely. Right. Well,